Welcome to Impact and Influence, the podcast for current and emerging leaders to build on leadership capability, sustainability, and purpose. This series opens the door to what's possible to build a life in leadership by design, not by default. Brought to you by REGROWTH Consultancy, powered by Flick It Over. Flick It Over is a leading electronic software platform. Flick It Over provides industry-specific solutions to improve process, client experience, and efficiencies. Make your document delivery and workflow seamless with Flick It Over.
Welcome back to our next episode of Impact and Influence. Andrew from Flick It Over, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So great to have you in the studio today. You have been around the real estate world for a little while now.
Let's just say a short time. I don't want to feel too old.
But you actually started in an agency, is that right?
I started with a developer.
Wow, I didn't know that part.
Meriton Apartments, straight out of school, or 1 year out of school when I was 19, selling off the plan in the CBD.
There you go.
Yeah. And then did a great way to learn how to sell.
Yes.
So like, as my boss at that time is like, there's no steak, you got to sell the sizzle. So you really had to visualize what they were selling. So it was a great way to learn how to sell. Had no listing skills at all for my first 3 years of my career or managing a database or anything like that. And then progressed into agency. Yeah.
There you go. How long were you in agency for?
2003. So I did 4 years at Meriton, did agency from 2003 till I sold out in 2022.
Yeah.
But was LJ Hooker in the city. A great, where I really learnt my trade was at Bresic Whitney. Shannon Whitney's a phenomenal person. You can just absorb so much information from. Then did a short stint with Ray White and just went and opened my own shop in 2012. And that's when I started property management and fell in love with PM and was sales my whole career, did PM.
So you did the opposite. I thought I was the only person in the world that did the opposite and started in sales.
I always joked I've got the reverse career. I was going to end on reception for my last couple of years. But yeah, no, I had the reverse career. Yeah, definitely. And it was great. I think it was great to bring the salesman. You're so hungry for every deal in sales, every listing, every deal, and you get it through great customer service and great product knowledge. To bring those attributes into PM, I think is where probably I found some traction. But also, you're talking to an owner that you manage a property. You can have a really detailed conversation. What's the market doing?
Such a benefit, isn't there, to owners getting involved in the property management space.
And they could make one, and it's not like most PMs haven't had exposure, so they're not doing anything wrong. They just haven't had exposure to sales and market trends and all those things. And so I found myself in a unique position where I could talk to an owner, hey, how's the open on the weekend? It was great. What's the market doing? Oh, great. This is what we're seeing in prices. We're seeing segmentation. You can have all those detailed conversations. And I fell in love with PM. It was a really, great industry.
And so what made you decide to have a complete change? Well, not a complete change because you're still in the industry, but why did you start Flick It Over?
Great question. I still do not remember the exact moment I went, let's do this. I was running a property management portfolio. I was getting very frustrated with re-signing leases. That's where it started. You've got a couple who are tenants. You're trying to get a lease re-signed. They're too busy to come in because they've got kids and have professional careers. You would post them or email them the document. You would be chasing them 4 weeks after the lease was technically meant to start. You'd get it back. It was missing an initial where the rent increase was. You'd re-fax it or re-scan it or re-email it to them.
There's listeners, Andrew, are like, faxing a lease? What are you talking about?
I just showed my age there.
Don't worry. I remember the days too.
Anyway, and so I was just like, there's got to be a better way. Like, surely this is a tenant. It's the exact same document. The only thing that's changing is 3 bits of data. The rental amounts, the start date and the end date. Everything is exactly the same on that document. How can we make this process better? I've always been addicted to customer experience and customer service. I used to say to my staff when I had my agency, I was like, we specialize in customer service. We just decide to apply it to real estate at this stage.
I love that approach. And
like, it's just, it literally was an addiction, like at an open or at a tenant experience when a tenant's picking up keys, to this. I had my agency for 7 years. To this day, if a tenant locked themselves out, not once did they have to call a locksmith. I went and met them at the office and gave them the spare set of keys, even sometimes at midnight. And I just wanted to provide that experience, and I struggle to say no probably as well, which is part of that at the same time. So it was through that. And I remember I rang 3 or 4 people I know and said, hey, I've got this idea. And I'm someone that's heavily influenced by other people's opinions. I've got this idea, and all of them shut it down. Said that won't work.
Really?
Yeah, all of them said that won't work. And for some reason, I just went, they're wrong. I'm going to do this.
I bet you they're sitting here listening today going,
Yeah.
won't tell anyone we were wrong.
For some reason, there's just something deep inside me that went, I can ignore everyone here. I can do this and I can fail and it's okay. And that goes against everything I've ever approached in my life where fear of failure means I wouldn't do it. Or someone else saying that wouldn't work. Oh, yeah, you're right. I better not try that. For some reason, there was just something deep down inside me about this and went, give this a crack. It's okay to do it. And if you fail, it's totally fine.
Well, you clearly didn't fail, but I'm sure there's been some lessons along the way.
We can call them lessons. That's a polite word. Yeah, it's been, we're 8 years in now, I think. So everyone feels like with this new, fresh startup still. Yeah, there's been a phenomenal journey. It's still one that's continuing. Are we successful? I've still got the question mark there. Some people are like, well, it's been successful. It's interesting to see how you define what success is.
Yes.
But yeah, like where I am now and my knowledge of the world I'm in of technology is so different to where I was when I started. I knew nothing. Like property management. When I started property management, I was like, I'm going to be a property manager. And I remember I used to, Pete Taylor, hopefully he's listening, was Bressy Whitney, now runs a great Ray White office. I used to ring him and say, tenant's giving me notice. What do I do? Or tenant's taking me to tribunal. Every time something happened, I'd either research it online or ring someone and say, I'm in this scenario, what do I do? And that's how I learned. I knew nothing about property management when I started it.
But I think that's how we all learn, isn't it? I mean, gosh, there's definitely been moments or throughout my whole career where you don't know, but you don't know until you come across a situation. And whether you're in property management, whether in sales or as a business owner, there is always going to be a situation where you go, this is the first time that this is happening.
Yep.
And it's about surrounding yourself with people that you can reach out to, having great mentors and, and being okay to ask the question and admit that. So I'm sure that you've had a few amazing mentors in your career, especially moving into that tech space.
Yeah.
Where it was really unknown.
Yeah. I think like when I opened my own office, I just went and had coffee with as many people I know and didn't say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Can you give me advice? But you just have a conversation and you may talk for an hour and you pick one bit up from that person. Then you have a coffee with someone else, you pick something up from that person. And over 10 cups of coffees and meetings, you've picked up 10 little bits of advice. You go, great, that's a framework for me to open a business on. So I didn't sort of have any specific one-on-one mentoring, but I surround myself with a lot of, I think, brilliant people in the industry and people that have had a lot of success. And when times get tough or when you're at a decision point, if you call those people and just have a conversation, you'll pick up little bits of advice and pieces along the way. And your guts are you probably don't realize how strong your gut muscle is. Like with me, when I come up with the idea of Flick and 4 people said, no, it's a silly idea. It won't work. I was like, great, ignore that. But if you'll develop a gut muscle over time where if you keep on leaning on the people in your network or in your area for advice, you know what to absorb and what to go, great bit of advice, but I don't think that applies to my situation. It's not that their advice is wrong. No one will fully understand your situation but you and all the elements that are impacting the decision-making process.
Great piece of advice.
So you can choose what to absorb or what not to absorb and apply it to your decision you've got coming up. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's power in collaboration, and your business now is essentially, built around collaboration as well. What do you think we do well in that space as an industry, and what can we improve on?
Yeah, I think technology is great not from a flick it over point of technology, but our access of it, whether it's a Facebook chat group, whether it's an email thread, whether it's a WhatsApp group, you've got so much more access to collaborative information now than what we used to have back in my day. So I just think, we do that quite well, and it is an industry full of people that are willing to share.
Yeah.
It is not an industry full of people going, hey, I'm successful. Don't tell anyone my secrets so they can copy me. Like I remember Matt Steinway, I listened to his podcast when I was a salesperson, and he gave us his listing tools, his a pre-listing kit, all his email templates. I'm like, why is he doing this? And he probably knew at the time. You can give everyone it's consistency of using it and doing it that generates success. It's not the content.
Absolutely.
He gave everything away, and I was like, oh my God, what's he doing? It's an industry full of people that are willing to see other people succeed. See your people who work in your patch or your area. I wanted to see everyone succeed around me at the same time as well, not go, this is mine, I hope they fall over. So, Yeah, I think we're in an industry that's very, very good at doing that and wanting to help people. We are, at the end of the day, a customer service-based industry. The people that succeed in it, especially in PM, have that customer service approach as well, I think.
Yeah. Tell me the challenges that you see from within the industry and property management with tech aligning with client experience.
Yep. There's a lot of noise out there when it comes to technology. We're part of that noise, so I apologise.
It's good conversations to have.
Yeah,
I think it's good noise.
Yeah, look, I've always said technology should be used to enhance the customer service experience, not replace the customer service experience. And so many times people adopt technology and remove the human touch. And I think that's the biggest mistake you can do. So if you use Flick It Over, and when, again, you go back to that original pain point of solving, I would make people come to my office to sign a lease renewal that was just the same document. And they'd come in and they'd come in on Saturday morning before your opens, and then they'd call because I hung over and say, I can't make it. Can I come Monday now? So I removed all that. So it's not like, great, I can now SMS leases, just SMS them. It allowed me to make a phone call first. Hey, I'm about to SMS your lease, and create a great customer touch point that allowed them to answer questions and then let them go through that process seamlessly instead of having to travel to my office. So I think if you look at all the technology, I don't think you can avoid having a tech stack at this stage. There is not going to be one product that does everything for you. When people are deciding to use a product, it's not this product's better than that. If someone doesn't use Flick It Over, it's just because what we've built maybe doesn't suit their office or their demographic or their workflow. There's nothing wrong with Flick It Over. And you can apply that to inspection software, to property management software. Doesn't mean one's wrong, one's right. It's just what suits your office and what suits your needs. I was talking to some people the other day, and they're like, how do you choose what technology to use?
Oh, that's a good question.
I linked it back. Being involved in tech has been really, really great for me, is to learn as an organisation. You know, all the developers are like, what's our core values? What's our core values? I'm like, I'm a real estate agent. Just sell or just lease, right? So we went and we developed 5 core values for the business that are really, really important to us. And then we've now actually gone and developed product core values that are important that the product must do. So when people ask me now, what's the tech stack? I'd probably say to them, what is your business core values? Like, what do you want to achieve in property management or in sales? And choose the technology that allows you to roll out those core values. So if you are, we want to be a behemoth, we want to scale, we want to be the biggest, that's our core value, go choose a property management CRM that allows you to do that. If your core value is we want to provide boutique customer first service, which is high on communication, then you choose a different CRM to do that, because not all of them handle that communication point well. For the behemoth, you'd probably want to go with automation and things like that. So if you can define what your core values are as a business or as a product, as an offering, and then choose the technology that allows you to roll that out the best way.
That's a fascinating approach, and it's such an insightful one. And I think everyone listening is probably just making a few notes on that piece now.
Look, I was resistant to it. When we first came up with our first 5 core values, it was a 12-month journey for me. I did one every 2 months. But
it should be, right? Yeah. They're not just words that, you
wasn't
pick off the top of your head
and go, hey, create 5 core values and I'm done in 30 seconds, right? It was a 12-month journey. And I would present them to the team. I would refine them. I'd come back to them, and then we embodied them. But now that I've rolled them out, we've got company core values. We've got product core values. Each department has its core values, and I've got individual core values in the business as well. And like a great example, and the one that I lean on the most, individual core values, your finish line is someone else's start line. So how we handle, like if you rush your work and hand off a rush job, so say you're a leasing agent and you rush the lease, you're going to create a headache for your property manager. So the leasing agent's finishing line is the start line for the property manager. Now that we've got a really, really focused 2026 goal sheet that has all these core values on it, every single thing we've had to confront as a business or as internally, the answer's on that sheet. And you no longer have to have difficult conversations. You're no longer going on gut feel or opinion. You can go, hey, John, do you know how when we had this issue in the business, when you handed over this task, that's where that problem started. And this is what happened downstream from that. Because of that, if we can focus on that core value, I don't think we'll have that problem in the future.
Such a great leadership tool.
Yeah, it's allowed me, if you link it to leadership, So much of leadership before that was, hey, I need to have a difficult conversation. I think someone's not doing the right thing. It's all off gut feel, and you go into a bit awkward. I don't want to confront them. I've just got a document now that we can refer to, and everyone can refer to it peer-to-peer as well.
I was about to say, do your team also refer to that in conversations as well? Because I find some of the best businesses out there that we're lucky to work with, they also, you hear it within the office where you're like, oh, that person, they don't align with who we are, and they don't align to their values. And I sit there and I go, wow, that's really powerful when your team are having those conversations with each other. And as a leader, you don't, I mean, yes, you have to get involved, but they're helping you make the decision, and, they're calling out, good, bad, or indifferent actions and those sorts of things.
And like with whether it's someone in product or design or developing, one of our product core values, which it's only a recent thing, and we need to loop back and apply this to so many things we've done in the past. If we need a webinar to explain the feature, we haven't finished building it. So I should be able to release a feature and flick it over, and it's through online visuals, through where the buttons are located, through the wording we're using, go, great, I know what this does and how to use it. And it's my favorite one at this stage. It's driving everyone crazy, probably internally. But if I need to have a product tour, if I need to create hey, how do I use this video? We can create videos to explain it and introduce it. That's fine. But if we need explanation, then we haven't finished building it. We've got to keep on building it so it's just seamless. And anyone who's never used Flick It Over can, as a first-time user, go, great, I see the feature, I understand what it does, and how do I apply it to my clients? It's a difficult one to do, but I'm hell-bent on driving that through every feature we release and going back and looping into some existing
Great
ones.
ethos.
Yeah.
Great. As a leader of a business, how do you, and you are obviously an ideas person.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you drive your team crazy with all the ideas that you come up with.
Big tick.
And it's hard as a leader when you are that person, you kind of different tangents every day. And, Kylie and I often, our team are like, can slow down. And one of our favorite sayings is slow down to speed up. But how as a leader does that, what challenges does that bring for your team and for you as a leader? And then how do you manage that?
Yeah. Oh, this is a hard one. This is where we sort of turn into a therapy session.
Didn't mean to. Sorry.
No, it's like I don't see myself as an inspirational leader. I don't tick that box. I see them around me. I've worked for them, and I don't think I'm that person. I'm a very high ADHD. Like I just run 1,000 miles, very unorganized, but I make it work, right? And I've somehow made it work, and I do my best to make sure nothing slips through the cracks. As an organization gets bigger, and a leadership style that works on instinct becomes very hard. Go back to that document. It's great. Everyone knows what we're doing in 2026 now. It's not like, oh, hang on, what's Andrew going to wake up and decide to do tomorrow, right? There is a really guided, very structured document to go, this is what we're going to achieve. It's tied to, features and revenue and all those kind of things we want to do. Now, we can pivot still and go, hey, I've got an idea. Let's go and do this. But that document has probably given the company a little bit more vision stability of like, okay, we know what we want to achieve. We know where we're going. We know what Andrew wants to do. And that has helped. And
does that keep you on track as well?
Yes, to a degree. It's simplified my brain thinking and like, hey, we're doing this, what are we doing? And I was like, no, I know what we're doing. It's on paper now. So it has probably helped me from that point of view. It's probably an open question, like my leadership style of being so crazy and high energy and high pace and pivoting all the time. Does that tap out of an organization at a certain time? And you need to bring in a GM or a chief operating for the staff to have access to, I'm not going to sit down and do one-on-ones and staff reviews. And that's not a good use of my time. That's not a good use of their time. I'm like, guys, I check in with everyone every now and then. Yeah. You ever need to sit down? We can sit down and talk it ever. I've started doing a quick one-on-one now just to keep everyone accountable and moving along, making sure they're moving along on that document. But I only started doing them once that document existed because I've got an anchor point for the conversation.
Great.
One-on-ones before that was just jumping and having a chit-chat once a month.
Yeah, let's grab a coffee and...
Added no value and took eight hours out of my diary every month. So I've started doing them once that document existed because I can just go, great, let me know what you're working on that helps me achieve this document. That's the only question I ask.
And that is so relatable because, no different to a typical real estate principal who is in sales and, runs 1,000,000 miles an hour and is listing and is selling and then goes, oh, bugger, I need time for my team. And then just goes and has an ad hoc conversation. As you said, it doesn't actually add value. But unfortunately, as a leader, accessibility is important, and your team do, regardless of the size of your business, and this is where with scale it gets challenging, they still want to see you. They still want to connect and ask questions and those things. So tailoring that back to the purpose of the conversation is so powerful.
And I think it'd be like, if you link it back to real estate, I see most business owners are salespeople. And I see so many business owners, salesmen, coming into property management and causing chaos and making uneducated decisions. And I was one of them, so I can say this respectfully. And they're coming in once a month. What's happening? How many managers we got? What have we lost to this? And it's just like...
Yeah, why aren't we growing quick enough?
If they had a document and said, great, what does PM want to achieve in the next 12 months? We're at 400 managements. We're going to get to 550. How are we going to do that? What are we going to do? Great, that document exists. Once a month, they catch up with PM. Guys, everyone knows the document. Anything to be concerned about? Are we on track? Are we not on track? Do you need anything from me to achieve that document? Great. I'll see you next month.
But trust the people that you've put in place.
It's a much more calmer conversation.
To manage the process, I suppose, which is what you were saying around, do you put a GM in to do all the one-on-ones and the HR and the, surround yourself with people who do things better than you, like know your skill gaps. And then you get people to help you.
And there's many skill gaps when it comes to know your skill gaps. I know. I'm not blind to them. But
that's part of good leadership, right? Is understanding where your gaps are and being okay with that. Like, no one's perfect and no one can do everything.
Yeah. Look,
nor should you have to. Or no, so when I say nor should you have to, that might be the wrong statement. But I don't believe as a good leader that you should, because you can't be everywhere and everything to everyone.
Correct. And look,
effectively.
There are some phenomenal leaders out there that are these most amazing, well-rounded people. I take my hat off to them, like they are phenomenal. And you see them operating like, wow. But most people that are highly successful in leaders, they are phenomenally flawed in some areas. And they can't tie their shoelace, point of view, but they are so skilled in one specific area that just makes them the most phenomenal salesperson.
Correct.
Or the most phenomenal property manager or business leader. But it usually is tagged along with there's a big skill gap somewhere else. And you're 100% right. Find somebody to plug that gap and bring that skill in. I'm not valuable to the business doing accounts. I'm not valuable to the business. I'm actually hiring at the moment. This last week, I've read 147 different resumes. I've done 13 one-on-one interviews. Now I'm doing it because that's what the business needs me to do to be successful at the moment.
Correct.
Is it a great use of my skill? No.
Not long-term, not ongoing.
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. What other lessons have you learned from scaling a business?
Ooh. I look, knowing what I know now, I look back when I ran a PM business, like embarrassed, going, oh my God. If you ask me one number from my PM days, I wouldn't know any. Profitability, revenue, all that kind of stuff. Probably to my detriment, my old man was an accountant and he used to do the accounts. So it was just like, hey, Dad, just do the accounts. So I never had anyone go, hey, this is good or this is bad or this is what you need to work on.
So do you see that as a gap in property management? Like coming from your experience, do you still think that that's a challenge? Are people not knowing their numbers well?
I probably don't have visibility to it, but I'd probably say yes. I think does someone know what good looks like? Look, again, it's a bit of an assumption, but I was saying to someone the other day, I think in PM now, the way that wages have gone, which has been the biggest difficulty for everyone to navigate, and people switching roles, don't start me on that. That's like probably one of the industry's biggest challenges. But I feel like if you're growing a PM business, you need to get to 450, maybe 500 and stop, or get to 1,000 as quick as possible. Because everywhere in between 500 to 1,000 is no man's land. There's not a single dollar of extra profit in there, and there's probably going backwards at one stage. You need heads of department, you need all these other tools to operate, you need all this there. So I think I was just grow at all costs. I was like managing car spaces for like $60 a week at 5% management fee, thinking all business was good business.
Yeah.
I was managing storage cages at $15 a week at 5% management fee, but don't start there. I just thought all business was good business. I would probably be a lot more, what does good look like? What are we targeting? Is there something that we need to focus on as a business and say, yes, this is what we're after? I was based in Sydney and taking on managements all over Sydney, all business. I'll definitely do that differently now.
Which ties back to the plan.
Yes, correct.
And having that one, that clear strategy, clear document that we've been talking about. So yeah, let's talk about Flick It Over for a moment.
Yeah.
You guys are always rolling out new features. What's the exciting new features that are coming out soon?
Yes. Oh, there's lots. We We got a lot on at the moment. Massive upgrades for all our documents in Victoria, massive upgrades for all our documents in South Australia. And that brings a lot of existing features in, like if it's a sales agreement, automatically collecting marketing money or giving them a VPA option, depending on your state, navigating all the state-based legislation.
Gosh, that must be tricky for you guys.
It was very simple 5 years ago, but you look at AML coming in as well, it's going to get even trickier.
Yeah.
So if you're in Victoria, if you tick a box and say I need to disclose commission sharing or I need to disclose rebates, we automatically prepare the consumer affairs document, embed that in the signing process so the owner and the agent can do everything in one sitting. So that's probably the goal. Instead of being an agency agreement, we've gone, okay, what does the agent need to do? And I'll say New South Wales, but it's same in different language for other states. Sign an agency agreement, do verification identity, do material facts, collect marketing costs. When I sold, that was done in 3 to 4 different steps that required 3 to 4 different admin stop points for someone to go, great, Andrew signed his agreement, send him his marketing invoice. We're about to send Andrew agreement, send him the verification identity request. It was all done in separate points. We've created one seamless flow. Yeah. Prepare an agreement, send it to the client, and they'll go through all those steps naturally. It removes so much unnecessary admin. It allows you to get a listing faster and get that property online faster as well. And then AML, where that'll be embedded in the process as well.
Yeah.
We've done an extension of that where if you're sending a sales or a property management agreement, you always need documents from the client. Water rates, council rates, landlord insurance documents. You can now create a document request at the time of sending. So if they're signing a power of attorney, you'd say, can you upload your power of attorney document? Or can you provide your water rate, council rates so we know what to advertise on the property as the latest rates notices?
And that's at any time, so they don't have, that doesn't stop them signing an agreement?
It's not signed to the agreement, but all the documents are stored back and flick it over. If you look at compliance as an office, everything's being collected via SMS and email and glove boxes on piece of paper and desks. It's all over the place. As an office, you can go, great, we have one centralized system that collects all our data. All that data sits behind two-factor authentication. If anyone wants to view the data, they've got to do 2FA. And you can also purge the data if need be, if it's sensitive information. So there's many layers to it. It's office compliance. It's office procedure. If you ever get audited or anything, you go, no, we've got a system where everything is collected through one system. When John Smith leaves the office and you've got an issue 2 years later, you're not going, hang on, how did John get the council rates from the client? Can we turn his emails back on? Everything's just stored in one central location. I think it's important. Doesn't need to be flickered over, but offices need to start making decisions to say, great, we've got 5, 6, 20 staff. We need to centralize how we do behaviors. So then when we need to navigate AUSTRAC audits in the future, fair trading audits in the future, any issues you need to have, everything is centralized and you have a policy, a privacy and policy procedure, but also an office procedure around these processes. Yeah.
Because consistency with that is the bigger you get, the harder it gets, right?
Oh, I had it. I was going to tribunal. You know, they've had a pet, wasn't approved. I'm ringing IT. Can you tell on Michelle's emails? I need to find an email from 3 years ago. How we approved? It was drive you crazy. And you say that to a property manager, they all start laughing. You go, yeah, I've been there. I've done that.
Everyone has. Absolutely.
So I'd move towards a centralized system for anything you're doing, whether it's your property management CRM, your sales CRM, or Flickr. It can be something, it can be Dropbox or Google Drive, but have one process. And if you need to do something from 5 years ago, you know exactly where that is. And it's not, so you don't go on a searching spree.
Great piece of advice. There's been lots of amazing little words of wisdom today, Andrew. I feel like we could probably talk for a long time, but I know I'm on a long time.
I'm a real estate agent. I can talk forever.
No, that's the problem. We get 2 real estate agents in a room with all these episodes, and we can talk forever. To wrap us up, what's the last final piece of advice, I guess, that you wish you knew earlier in your career that you could share with someone who's starting out today?
I wish I had more time to think of this. Look, I was always impatient. I always wanted it now. If I had my time again, I would slow down. And I always wanted to go from step 1 to 7 to 10. You know, so I didn't want to work for a sales, like go back to sales. I was like, okay, I'm a sales agent. I would go find an extremely skilled sales agent and work under them for 2 or 3 years, learn some really good attributes and behaviors. Now I picked things up from people like Shannon Whitney and Charles Toomer and all them along the years, and it was great, and embed them. Same with property management. I self-taught myself, which is great. But if I was going, I'm going to be a property manager, go find a phenomenal leader to teach me and slow down at the start, it would have sped things up at the back end of my career and made things a lot better there. Learning your own way and finding your own way is a great way to learn, and it embeds a lot of resilience in you as well.
Yes.
But yeah, that's probably what I do. Go back and slow down at the start. Do the 101s correct.
Fantastic advice. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Impact and Influence. Click follow to get notified about future episodes. Leaving a review helps others find the podcast. And to learn more about our courses, our study tours, conferences, keynote topics and our services, or how simply we might be able to help support you in taking you to places you never thought possible, please visit regrowthkyliewalsh.com. Impact and Influence, brought to you by REGROWTH Consultancy, powered by Flick It Over. Flick It Over is a leading electronic software platform. Flick It Over provides industry-specific solutions to improve process, client experience and efficiencies. Make your document delivery and workflow seamless with Flick It Over.